Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk semuanya.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, presenters, let's start.
All right, ma'am. A minute. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Good
wabarakatuh.
morning, Dr. Feni. Good morning, all my friends. First of all, thank you for the opportunity given to us to present our material. Today, we are going to present a topic related to digital literacy, entitled Task-Based Language Teaching, or TBLT. Before we go further, let me introduce our group member. I am Nurlina as the moderator as well as the second speaker, and then Miss Uni Handayani as the first speaker, and the last one, Florence Marianti as the third speaker. We hope this presentation will be useful and help us understand how TBLT can create interactive and meaningful language learning. So without further ado, let us begin our presentation. Ms. Uni, the time is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Lina. Now, in this slide, I will explain about TBLT or Task-Based Language Teaching. What is TBLT? TBLT is a language teaching approach that focuses on completing meaningful tasks. Students learn English through activities that reflect real-life communication. The main purpose of TBLT is to improve student communicative competence. Students are encouraged to use English actively in discussions, problem solving, activity, and collaborative tasks. In this approach, students become the center of learning while the teacher acts as facilitator who guide and support the learning process. Through TBLT, students can develop confidence, creativity, and communication skill in a more interactive and enjoyable way. Okay, let's discuss the next slide. In this slide, I will explain about principle of TBLT. There's three principles. The first principle is task-centered learning. Learning activities are designed through meaningful tasks that relate to real-world communication. And the second principle is that language is used as communication tools. Students are not only learning grammar rules, but they also learn how to use language effectively in daily communications. And the third principle is contextual and meaningful learnings. These talks given to students should be interesting, relevant, and able to encourage interaction and participants. This principle makes learning more active, communicative, and student-centered. Now let's move the characteristic of TBLT. In TBLT, tasks become the main focus of learning activity. Students learn English by completing tasks such as discussion, presentation, interview, or problem-solving activity. This approach encourages interaction and collaboration among students. They work together, exchange ideas, and communicate actively during the learning process. Another characteristic of a TBLT is that focus is more on the task outcome than grammatical accuracy alone. This means students are encouraged to communicate confidently even if they still make small mistakes. In addition, teaching method and material in TBLT are flexible and can be adapted to student needs and learning situations. And next slide is okay, I will explain about stages. Stages in TBL3. This is 3 stages in TBLT. The first stage is pre-talks. In this talks, the teacher introduces the topic Explain the instruction and prepare students before doing the task. The teacher may also provide vocabulary or example related to the activity. And the second stage is task cycles. In this stage, students complete the tasks individually, in pair, or in groups. They discuss, share opinion, and use English actively. After that, students present or report the result of their work. And the third stage is language focus. Here, the teacher and student analyze the language uses. During the activity, the teacher gives feedback, discuss grammar or vocabulary, and help students improve their language use. And this stage helps students practice English natural through communication and meaning activity. I think enough for this presentation, and the next presentation will be delivered by Miss Lina.
All right, Ms. Uni, thank you. Next slide, please. Now let's continue, everyone. Here, I will explain briefly about types of tasks in TBLT. There are about 5 types. The first one is information gap tasks. It occurs when participants have different pieces of information, and they must communicate to complete the missing information. The task can only be completed successfully through interaction. As an example, the teacher give a topic about daily schedule or school life, and then the student write their activities. Sorry. Finish, they exchange their schedule. They ask and answer questions to find the missing information, and then they complete the table together. The student must communicate and to complete the task, and the focus is on the meaning grammar. And then the second type is opinion gap task. In opinion gap task, require learner to express their personal views, feeling, or preference and compare them with others. So there is no single correct answer. As an example, the teacher give a topic about school discipline and then give the question to the student, and then the student should discuss about that. The question is, should students be allowed to use mobile phones in the class? Now, from that question, the student would work in a group consists of 3 or 4 students, and then they share opinion. They must give at least 2 reasons, and then after finish, they present their opinion in front of the class. And the third type, it is problem-solving task. In problem-solving tasks, require learners to work together to find solution to a specific issue or a challenge. These tasks often involve decision-making. For example, the teacher gives a topic for the discussion. It is about too much homework, not enough time. This topic, I think it is very related for the student. Maybe in this situation, students often feel stress, too much work. Besides that, they have to do extracurricular activities and little time to rest. So the student discuss and create solution to help the student manage their time better. And the fourth type, it is planning task. It involves organizing event, activities, or project. So the student must discuss step, roles, time management, and resources. As an example, the student will hold an event about class celebration or the English day. So they have to decide about the date, the time, the location, the activities, including the budget, and also the rules. Next, the last type, it is personal experience sharing. This task encourages learners to share stories, experience, or memories related to a topic. The focus is on meaning interaction rather than accuracy. As an example, others can share their memorable experience. The students share a story about their happy moment, a challenge they overcome, or memorable holiday, or maybe their first day at school. They think individually, share in pairs, and some students share with the class. Student practice in this type, student practice storytelling, fluency, and emotional expression. Please. Now we are going to discuss about advantages of TBLT. The first, enhance learner motivation through meaningful activities. TBLT increases student motivation because learners participate in meaningful and real-life activities instead of repetitive grammar exercise. Interesting tasks make students more active, engaged, and confident in using English. And number two, develop authentic communicative skills. TBLT helps students use English for real communication. Can be through discussion, problem solving, and interaction. Learners improve speaking skill, listening, and communication naturally. And the third advantage is it facilitates contextualized and engaging learning. In TBLT, language is learning through meaningful context rather than isolated grammar rules. Students understand language more easily because tasks are related to real situations and their daily lives. And the last one, encourages learner autonomy and collaboration. TBLT in students to work independently and collaboratively. Learners share ideas, solve problems, and cooperate with others, while the teacher acts as a facilitator. Next slide, please. Besides advantages, here are disadvantages of TBLT. The first, require more preparation time for the teacher, because the teacher needs to design meaningful tasks, prepare materials, and manage classroom activities carefully. So it often takes more preparation time more than traditional teaching method. And number two, task outcomes can be difficult to assess objectively. Assessing student performance in task-based activities can be challenging because teachers must evaluate communication skills, participation, and task completion, not only grammar accuracy. And the third, may not suit a learner's style or educational context. Maybe some students, especially for the beginners, may feel confused or uncomfortable with open-ended task question, because open-ended is not only answering by yes or no, they have to explain. In addition, TBLT may not fit educational system that focus heavily on tests and examination. And the last one, possible difficulties with large classes or limited resources. In large classroom, it can be difficult for teacher to monitor or prove effectively. Limited time, materials, or classroom facilities may also reduce the effectiveness of TBLT activities. And another slide will be explained by our friend, Miss Florence Mariandi. Are you there?
Maybe not. Not
Not-
yet.
Not present yet? Okay.
Okay.
Maybe Miss Uni will explain another slide, please. I'm sorry. Implementing the TBLT in language learning first, yeah. It is still my turn, right? Okay, I'm sorry, everyone. Implementing TBLT in language learning, integrating tasks into curriculum and lesson plan, ensures systematic language development. TBLT is suitable for English learner and other foreign language classroom at all levels. Technology and multimedia tools can enhance task authenticity and engagement. The task should be adapted for different proficiency level to maximize learning outcomes. Now, the next slide, please, Miss. Yes, the time is yours.
Okay, this is the slide. I will explain about teacher roles in TBLT. There are three teacher roles in TBLT. The first is as facilitator, guiding the text process and learning journey. And the second role in TBLT, the teacher as providing constructive feedback and support throughout activity. And the third is teacher as manage classroom interaction, timing, and assessments. And the next slide is student role in TBLT. There are three stages, three roles in TBLT. The first is student active engagement in completing tasks with full participant and effort. And the second role is collaborating with peers during activity to achieve shared task goals. And the third role in TBLT, student reflecting on language use and taking responsibility for communication success. And the next class will be presented by Miss Lina.
All right. So from all the explanation from me and my friends, it can be concluded that TBLT promotes meaningful language use and learner interaction. Its structured stages support both task performance and language focus. Through challenging, it offers effective communicative competence development and encourage active teaching and learning roles. I think that's all. Dual explanation from our group, and now continue to the micro teaching session. The first will be delivered by Miss Uni. Go ahead, Miss.
Okay. Let me share screen first. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, students.
Morning, ma'am.
How are you today?
Great, Alhamdulillah. How about you?
I'm good, thank you. And now, before we start this lesson, let's pray together. All pray begin. Okay, student. Today we will learn about invitation. Please prepare your book and pay attention for these lessons. Now, I will show you about this invitation. About this. Now look at the first slide on PPT. What picture can you see it? Do you know what is it, students?
An invitation card.
Okay, good job. It is an invitation card. Okay, student, have you ever received our invitation card before?
Yes,
Okay, what event was it for?
the birthday party.
Okay, good. Birthday party invitation card. Okay, let's move on the next slide here. Now, in this slide, I will tell you about learning objective for our study today. You must be able to identify the part of an invitation card correctly. And the second, you must be able to create a simple invitation card using appropriate vocabulary and expression. And then you must be able to, sorry. You must be able to present confidently with your group. And next, student, what is an invitation? Did you know? Maybe Miss Lina, you can answer. What is invitation? Did you know, Miss Lina?
Invitation is when you ask someone to come to an event that will be held by us.
Good. An invitation is request asking someone to come to an event, activity, or place. Now, let's take a look this example invitation card on the PPT. Can you mention the part of the invitation card? What information can you find there?
The first maybe the time.
Time and
Yes. The place.
Place, and then what are?
And maybe the sender.
Gender, good.
Okay.
And what else? Okay, the student, the invitation card usually contain like title, name, person, event, date and time, place, and closing. Let's move on this slide. Now let's discuss about format of invitation. Here, the first we will study about the title of the event. You can say what is the title of the event here? The card.
Is it?
Tommy's 6th birthday.
My 6th birthday.
Oh, good. Tommy's 6th birthday. And you can tell me what is the name of the person invited? Here.
Me?
Yeah, good. You're. Now, and the next is what is the event here in this card, students?
Birthday celebration.
The celebration or birthday party.
Party.
And what is the when the date and time is it?
January 15, 2050.
Okay, and
Yeah.
where is
Yeah.
okay, good. And where is the place or location here, the birthday invitation card?
Jason resident 16 Cape Street.
Santa Neville.
Okay, good. Vincent resident 16th. Okay. Now, and the closing, what?
Confirmation
Here.
LSPP.
Okay,
See you
good.
there.
Yes, you there.
Okay, good. Now, let's more some invitation expression. You can repeat after me. Ready?
Yes,
Students?
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
The first is you are invited to my birthday party.
You are
You are
invited
to
My birthday
birthday party.
The second, please come to our graduation party.
Please come to
Please
our
come to our
graduation party.
graduation party.
The third is I would like to invite you to my party.
I would like
I would like to invite you to my party.
And the fourth is please join us to celebrate my birthday.
Please
Please
join
join
us
us
to
to
celebrate
my
my
birthday.
birthday.
Okay, and the last is we hope you can attend the event.
We hope you can
Hope you can attend the
event.
Very good, student. Now let's move on the next slide. It is our quiz time. You can answer correctly. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, we will start this. Okay, the first quiz. What is the purpose of the invitation card? Student, you can
invite
answer
someone.
A, B, C, or D.
Invite someone.
to an event.
Okay, now I will try to check it. Good. Good
Okay.
job. And next is, which one is the closing expression of invitation card here?
See you there.
The front
Cheer. Okay.
online.
Is it true? See you there.
Good job.
And the
And now, which information is usually not found in an invitation card, student?
E. C.
Yeah.
Price of food.
C. Okay. Good job. And the next is, now I will divide you into group. You can making an invitation with your friends. Before that, I will giving you instruction. The first is you can image you will hold an event, and the second you can create an invitation card using text in English, and the third is use the correct format of invitations, and then you can decorate your invitation creatively. This is optional. And the last, you must present your invitation card in this class. Okay, I will divide. Miss Lina, are you ready?
Yes.
And Miss Mary?
Yes, ma'am. I'm ready.
Okay, here the format about invitation card. You can making by your group, and that after that you can present in this class. Okay, ready?
All right. Yes. Here is the form. Can we try, ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, you can try.
The title is Celebrating the Sweet 17. And then you are invited to my 17th birthday party. The
Good.
day and the date, it is 17 June, and the
June.
time at 7 p.m.
Okay,
And
good.
the place, it is in Cikarang, Grand Cikarang City resident.
Okay, you can add some
The
expression.
party will be what is it? Yeah. Waiting for your coming, everyone. Let's have fun. From
Okay.
Lina.
Okay, you can add the closing here.
Please, see you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Lina and Miss Mary. Good job. Okay, I think enough for this micro teaching. And the next micro teaching will be delivered by Miss Lina. Miss Lina, time is yours.
Okay. I will share my screen first. Okay. Have you seen everyone?
Yes, Miss.
All right. Good morning, everyone. How are you today?
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm
By the
good.
way, great.
How
Have
about
you
you,
had
ma'am?
your Alhamdulillah, I'm fine too. Thank you. Have you had your breakfast, by the way?
Yes,
Okay.
I have.
How about Tuhu? Have you get your breakfast?
Yes, I have already my breakfast.
That's good to hear. Everyone, before we start today's lesson, I want to ask something. Any student, all the student can answer about this. Have you ever watched a cooking tutorial on YouTube or TikTok?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Or maybe, have you ever explained to someone, to your friend or to your family about how to make instant noodle, how to make iced tea, or using application?
No, not yet.
Have? Or how about Nia? Have you ever explained to your friend how to make TikTok account?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, okay. Another question. Why do people need instruction?
Because instruction help people do something correctly.
Okay, excellent. And what will happen if the step or the instruction are not in the correct order? Anyone can answer it? What will happen?
They
Ah,
need
okay.
to
I can try to answer here.
Okay.
Mungkin
Yes,
people can get confused or make mistakes. Miss,
yes, exactly. If you don't give the instruction in the correct order, it or the people will make other confused, and then so it is important to explain something clearly, isn't it?
yes.
Now, can you mention maybe Putri Andini? Can you mention activities that need step-by-step instruction? Give me one example.
Maybe first we need to pour the flour and then add some milk, for example, like that. Is that true, Miss?
Okay, just mention the activities that need step-by-step instruction. Maybe when you want to wash your clothes, you need to follow some instruction how to operate the washing machine, right?
Yes, that's
Ah,
right.
good. Now, excellent answer. So from your answer, we can see that clear instructions are very important in our daily life. When we explain how to make or to do something step by step, we are using a procedure text. So today, to learn more about procedure text and how to create one correctly in English. At the end of the lesson, all of you will be able to, the first, identify the social function of procedure text, and number two, determine the generic structure of a procedure text, and the third, use the language feature of a procedure text, and number four, create a simple procedure text collaboratively in groups. And the last one, you have to present your work in front of the class using simple English. This is our teaching objective for today. Now, let's look at an example of a procedure text together. Okay, wait a minute. Here is the picture. Pay attention to the text and observe how the instructions are written. Okay. What is the purpose of the text, everyone? Anyone can identify the purpose?
To
Yes,
tell us how to
Making
make
ice
a
cream.
delicious ice cream
Okay,
lemon tea.
excellent answer. The purpose is how to, or maybe you can add a word. It is a keyword because when we study about a text, every text have their own purpose. Oh, narrative, the purpose is to amuse, gitu ya, to entertain. But in procedure text, to what?
How to do something, how to make something.
To describe or to explain how to make an ice sweet lemon tea. This part is called the purpose. Next, see which part saw the ingredients. In which part you can find out the ingredients.
Big hot
In
water.
this list, how many ingredients we need to make sweet lemon tea? There are
Six ingredients.
yes, it is. 6 ingredients. Good. So a procedure text usually consists. What is the first? How to make? It is called what? Anyone know? What is the name?
Procedure.
as I have told you, each text have its own purpose. So the first structure in procedure text is a goal. It is called the goal. And then the things we need, we call it is the
Material.
yes,
Material.
the materials, or maybe we can the synonym word for materials, ingredient.
Ingredient.
Yes, good. And then what else? The tools. Yeah. Okay, next. After that, the steps. So there are three structure we have to do in procedure text. The first is the goal, and then the step, and then what is the last one? The materials and the step.
Step.
Okay, now which one? So the step. How many steps there?
There are 6 steps.
Pay attention to the bold word. There is the first, next. What is it called? Anyone know about that?
Conjunction, is it?
Conjunction. Okay. Any other answer?
Instruction, command sentence.
Okay. When
Order.
you use the word first, next, then after that, and finally, it is called sequencing word. What is it for? To show the order?
The order.
Yes, good. So you will understand which sentence come the first. The first, next, it is called the sequencing or order. Now, please identify what verb are used in the text. Can you identify? Is it using simple present or past tense or participle? Can you identify everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Using
Can you tell
Using
me?
present.
It is use simple present
Simple
tense.
present.
All are use verb one, right? All right. Excellent discussion, everyone. From your answer, we can conclude that procedure text is used to explain how to make or do something step by step. Now, let's summarize the important points of today's materials so we can understand procedure text clearly. Here is a minute. Here is the first. So as I have told you, there are three things should be understood by student when talk about the text. Here is the purpose and the generic structure. There are three structure as we have identified in the previous slide. There are three structure. The first is the goal, the material or ingredients, and the step. And the third, it is language features. Here are three language features. And we have talked about sequencing words, right? But we forgot to identify about imperative verb and action verb. Let's back to the previous slide. A minute. A minute. Sorry. Can you identify the imperative? Oh, by the way, all of you have known what imperative means. Uni, have you known what is imperative maybe?
Kata perintah, Miss?
Oh, okay. Imperative is a sentence that is used to ask someone to do something. For example, open the door, please. Here is very hot. Pay attention here. You can identify here. The imperative sentence started from number 1 in the step. Okay, please read it, Miss Uni. First, boil the water, yes, and then next put, and then pour. It's all use the imperative or kalimat perintah. Okay, and use the action verb. Action verb means that the verb showing do an action. Now, I think all of you already understand the purpose, the structure, and then the language feature of procedure text. So it is time for you to make one, to practice and creating your own procedure text with your group. Please work together with your group members, discuss the ideas, and create a simple and clear procedure text. After that, each group will present their work in front of the class. And please remember, everyone, use clear step, use sequencing word, and speak confidently during the presentation. Is it clear enough? Is it clear enough? Okay.
Yes,
This
ma'am.
Amen.
assignment will be present next week because the time is almost up. Yeah, please do it well with your friend, and see you next week, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. All right, a minute. Now, let's go
Q&A,
to
Miss.
yes, Q&A session.
Uh,
Please,
let
the question.
me share screen first.
Yes, please.
Wait.
If you can say, maybe we can read it, miss. Let's start from first question, yeah. While waiting your slide, miss. Let's start from the first question.
This is clear, Miss.
Okay, it
Yes.
is okay.
Yeah.
It is okay. It is okay. Just start. Okay. The first question, it is from a minute. From whom? I forgot. Mr. Tuhu. The first question is from Mr. Tuhu, and the question is: in a classroom, students frequently make grammatical mistakes during task discussion, but the teacher allow communication to continue without interruption. From the perspective of TBLT, why might this strategy be more beneficial than every mistake immediately? I will try to answer. The TBLT prioritizes into the fluency, communication, and meaningful interaction during the task phase. So constant correction may interrupt communication, reduce confidence, and discourage participation. Allowing students to communicate freely helps them develop spontaneous language use and communicative competence. Can be later addressed during the post-task phase, where feedback becomes more reflective and less disruptive. Mr. Tuhu, that's the answer. Is it clear enough?
Okay, thank you for your answer, and I think it is clear enough for me. Thank you.
Okay. Next, let's continue to the second question. It is from Ms. Putri Andini. A teacher asks students to memorize the definition of procedure text, but never gives them opportunities to practice and writing one.
Sure. Balik lagi ke sini. Wait, Miss, I'm sorry.
Yes. Number 2 is from Okay, I will read it, Miss. Okay, is it okay? Is it okay?
Let's continue, Miss.
Yes, okay.
On WhatsApp.
Number second
This
question,
is
number 2
a problem.
from Miss Hasanah here. The question is, during lessons, students become highly engaged in completing the task, but some of them use their first language during discussion. And the question is, should the teacher completely prohibit the use of the first language in TBL? Please analyze both pedagogies and disadvantages. I will try to answer the question. The answer is prohibiting the first language may reduce student confidence and participation, especially among lower level learners. Limited first language use can support comprehension, negotiation of meaning, and task completion. However, excessive dependence on the first language may reduce opportunities for English practice. Therefore, the teacher should manage first language use strategically by encouraging English while allowing occasional support when necessary. Now, the third question will be answered by Ms. Uni. Please, Miss.
Okay, wait, Miss. Okay, now I will answer the number 3. Number 3 is during the TBLT, students become highly engaged in complicating the tasks, but some of them use their first language during discussion. Should the teacher completely prohibit the use of the first language in TBLT classroom? This is the question from Hasanah. Maybe I can try it to the answers. The answers: students might understand the theory but have difficulty applying it in real communications. Their productive skill, especially writing and speaking, might not develop well because communication skills require practice and interactions, not only memorizations. Miss Anna?
Yes, is it clear, Miss? Thank you.
Okay, now I will try to the answer number 4 here. A teacher apply the same difficult task to both beginner and advanced student. Why can this become a problem in implementing TBLT? This question from Mr. Arif. I can try to the answers. The answer is the weakness is that students not only recognize information passively and do not practice using language meaningful. TBLT emphasizing communications and task completion, so students should actively produce language, not only answer objective questions. Mr.
Alright.
Ali, are you there? This is clear.
I think so. Let's continue, yeah, ma'am, Miss.
Okay, let's continue for the number 5. Miss Lina, you can the answer, please.
Yes, of course. Number 5, it is from Miss Rahmati. The question, a teacher applies the same difficult task to both beginners and advanced students. Why can this become a problem in implementing TBLT? I will try to answer briefly. Different students have different proficiency levels and learning needs. If the tasks are too difficult, beginner students may lose confidence and participation. In TBLT, the task should be adapted to students' abilities, so learning remains effective and achievable. Is it clear enough, Miss? I hope it is, Miss Emma.
Yes,
Is it
Miss.
clear?
Thank you for the answer.
All right.
It's clear.
All right, everyone. I think all our presentation today. We realize it is far from the perfect, but we try to do our best. Thank you for your kind attention, everyone. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, presenters. First of all, I would like to ask, ini harusnya ada 3 orang ya, tapi saya hanya melihat 2 orang
Yes,
saja.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So,
Marianti is still not present. Maybe I don't know what happened to her. We have phoned her several times, many times, but there is no response. So only 2 of us.
okay. So, nanti kalau sudah, if you can reach her, just tell her to do her own presentation ya, karena saya tidak bisa menilai kalau tidak ada praktiknya gitu.
All right, ma'am.
Okay.
Alright.
Thank you very much for the presenters. If I'm not mistaken, this is our last presentation. Sudah tampil
Yes.
semua ya, teman-teman?
It's true. It's true.
Okay. So our topic today, it's about TBLT, task-based language teaching. This method is aimed to learn English by doing meaningful tasks. So the main focus here is not memorizing the grammar first or memorizing the rules first, but to use English to complete a real communicative goal. So in this method, our students are asked to do the task that are similar to real life situations, or you may say authentic material. Jadi yang diminta melakukan sesuai dengan yang sehari-harinya dia. So such a planning an event, invitation, birthday invitation tadi, making a reservation, or doing something like procedure text. So through these tasks, our students naturally will need vocabularies to do the task. And that is what is learned in this method. So the important point is the student learn the language because they need to complete the task. Because they need to complete the task. That's the goal. So it is not like teachers say, today we are going to learn simple past. Today we are going to learn present continuous. No, enggak begitu. Jadi our students learn the language because they need to complete the task. Jadi untuk bisa menyelesaikan tugas ini, saya harus ngomongnya gimana. Jadi bahasa itu untuk tools to complete the task. Bukan fokus, hari ini kita akan belajar simple past, hari ini kita akan belajar passive. So ini beda. So the teacher explained the rules and gave the exercise. Kayak tadi misalnya, tadi how to make lemon tea atau ice lemon tea
Ice
or
lemon
something.
tea.
Yes. So atau misalnya juga kalau mau mengajarkan simple past misalnya, tell your class about your most memorable memory, gitu, and choose a story to present. Nah, kalau kalau sudah karena SMA harusnya sudah belajar simple past, nanti dia akan bilang, I went to blah blah blah, I visited blah blah blah, we stayed in blah blah blah, I saw, I bought blah blah blah. Semuanya itu nanti otomatis kan menggunakan simple past. So the teacher doesn't need to explain all the grammar at the beginning. Nanti dibenerin boleh. But the teacher should introduce useful expressions kayak tadi dalam lemon tea tadi. First, boil, get some water misalnya. And then the second, bla bla bla. So dijelaskannya useful expressions aja, tapi tidak perlu ini harus pakai simple apa, yang verbnya bagaimana. No. After the task, the teacher can discuss the language that appeared during the activity, the expressions, the grammar, the vocabulary, the pronunciation, the structure of the sentence. So grammar is not ignored. However, it is taught meaningfully in a task that the students need to achieve gitu. Jadi bukan tidak dipedulikan nanti dibenerin tapi belakangan gitu. Nanti dibenerinnya belakangan. So in the context of our lecture ICT, it is very relevant because technology give our students more opportunities to complete the authentic task. For example, mungkin kalau sudah sekarang ini sudah SMA misalnya suruh minta planning one day trip misalnya. Planning one day trip. Ini bisa pakai speaking dan writing kemahirannya. Ini mungkin memang schoolnya sudah agak ini ya, SMA mungkin ya. So, the students will work in groups to plan one day trip and present their plan in English in front of the class. So, maybe for the pre-task, pertama-tama, gurunya kasih introduction dulu. Misalnya, your class want to have a one day trip. So each of group must plan the destination, the transportation, the schedule, the budget, the activities. Gitu. Nah, at the end, you will present your trip plan and explain why, misalnya. Jadi nanti gurunya bisa memperkenalkan, we suggest visiting this trip will start at, ini ngajarin jam, karena masih banyak juga orang yang nggak tahu kalau ngomong jam 9 itu pakai in atau at atau on, misalnya. The trip will start at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, jadi ditaruh jam di situ. Jadi dia akan ini. Lalu kemudian sequencing tadi. First, we will, after that, bla bla bla. Second, sampailah terus. Kemudian mau belajar uang, misalnya the transportation will cost berapa. Kemudian we think this trip will be useful because mengajarkan argumentatif dan sekaligus. Tapi tidak perlu dijelaskan this is an argumentative sentence gitu, nggak perlu. Tapi dengan begitu otomatis nanti dia bisa mengungkapkan opini dengan memberikan alasan. Lalu kemudian the teacher will contohin misalnya pakai PPT slide atau Google slide, ada gambar misalnya Monas, misalnya National Museum. We suggest visiting Monas. We will leave school at bla 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 AM. Gitu. Nanti jangan lupa gunakan yang 12 karena masih banyak orang bingung kalau 12 siang itu AM atau PM misalnya. Gurunya bisa masukin di situ tanpa harus real menjelaskan secara detail kalau 12 siang tuh pakainya ini ya. Dikasih contoh aja nanti dia akan ingat. First we will apa? Mungkin ngumpul di sekolah. After that we will take apa dan seterusnya. Nah, nanti kita minta murid kita open Google Maps for real. Karena tadi dia nyontohin, misalnya Monas tadi, dari sekolahnya, ask them to open Google Maps, lihat berapa kilometer misalnya. Itu namanya menggunakan ICT, gitu. Jadi menggunakan teknologi. Nanti dikasih tahu berapa kilometer. Kan kalau kita buka Google Map, there should be options. If you go by walk, if you go by a motorcycle, if you go by car, if you go by train, ada tuh di situ ininya. Dan murid kita nanti diminta untuk mau pakai apa perjalanannya, lalu kasih tahu rutenya. Dengan begitu dia juga belajar how to show directions tanpa harus belajar secara khusus ini harus begini, ini harus begini. And then the task stage tadi yang sudah di ini minta muridnya kemudian decide the destination, the reason, transportation, schedule, and so forth and so on. Lalu kemudian bisa gunakan teknologi tadi Google Maps, WhatsApp, Zoom, Canva untuk presentasi dan lain-lain. And then planning dan kemudian melakukan report. Nah, pada saat ini minta pada muridnya untuk gurunya memberikan sampel misalnya, why did you choose the destination? Tulis di depan. How much will the trip cost? Ini akan mengajarkan tentang past tense. Tapi nggak usah subjek, lalu kemudian pakai did, kemudian pakai apa. Tapi why did you choose the destination? We chose the destination because dia akan menggunakan simple past. Misalnya, what will you do if it rains? Kalau ini bisa kalau misalnya mau sudah belajar pengandaian misalnya, what will you do if it rains? Kan pakai if tuh. If it
Yes.
rains, then we will bla bla bla. Nah, jadi bisa belajar banyak, sebenarnya banyak tenses bisa masuk di situ tanpa harus fokus karena satu persatu, karena memang tujuannya adalah untuk mengajarkan untuk menyelesaikan task. Lalu kemudian in reflection, you as a teacher can ask what kind of English expressions did you use during completing the task? What was very difficult for you when discussing the trip? Bisa ditanya sama muridnya, paling susah tuh lagi ngapain gitu. What kind of new vocabularies did you learn today? Misalnya apa? Jadi bisa didiskusikan di situ. Baru kemudian nanti Bapak Ibu bisa mengoreksi grammarnya belakangan. Ini relating tadi pertanyaan Saya lupa tadi pertanyaan mana, nomor berapa. Eh, kalau pada saat bicara dibiarin aja dulu. Misalnya tadi pakai sequence. First we put the egg into bowl, then we mixing it. Nah, put the egg, mixing itu kan nggak matching. Nah, tapi gurunya catat aja dulu. Nanti baru setelah selesai gurunya bisa kasih first we put the egg into a bowl, then we mix it gitu. Jadi bukan mixing it. So, karena kalau di jeda pada saat itu langsung the interruption, the student may become nervous, stop explaining, and then the student may feel afraid ya to speak up, and then nanti uh, akan jadi lost confidence, jadi akan takut nanti gitu. Kemudian tadi pertanyaan number 2, memorizing definition, it is very interesting ya, because if you only memorize about a procedure, then your students cannot adapt the situation. Padahal in the real world nanti they may be asked to make various of procedure text. Kalau nanti dia bekerja, apalagi SMK, dia akan diminta untuk membuat prosedur teks bermacam-macam. If they only memorize about a particular or a certain procedure, nanti beda prosedurnya bingung dia. Saya kemarin ingetnya cuma bikin lemon tea aja. Yang bikin ganti ban misalnya, kalau dia di bengkel nggak diajarin nih, gimana? Bingung karena hanya memorize. Jadi harusnya procedure itu instead of memorizing misalnya procedure text is a text that bla bla bla, bisa tadi seperti tadi gurunya memberi contoh how to make fried rice, how to use Google Classroom, how to create, this is an example of explaining a procedure anak-anak misalnya. Jadi dia ngerti, oh gini ya gitu. So the definition boleh tapi akan lebih useful tadi seperti tadi, lalu kemudian diberitahu sequencingnya, first, next, after that, finally ya. And then first language, it is okay, but the teacher should control and the flow of the use of first language. Boleh, tapi dikontrol. If it is not, then your students may discuss the task using their first language. Kalau nggak dikontrol, nanti bisa-bisa ngomong bahasa Indonesia semua.
Yeah.
So, untuk meyakinkan misalnya Miss atau Sir, maksudnya misalnya kalau upload file itu upload dulu ya, baru klik turn in ya, boleh dijelasin supaya ngerti itu. Tapi ya sudah, gurunya menjawab, first you upload your file and then you click turn in. Gurunya harus menjawab in English. Jadi flow-nya balik lagi. Jangan dibiarin apalagi gurunya ikut-ikutan ngejawab pakai bahasa Indonesia. Kalau udah begitu nanti hilang tujuan dari TBLT, completing task in English-nya. Jadi nanti cuman presentasinya doang aja. And then giving the same task, it is not wise, karena bagaimanapun Bapak Ibu, when you teach your students, first of all, you have to know their level and the objectives of the teaching first. Nggak mungkin dalam satu kelas itu, ini kita ngomong kelas normal bukan kelas kursus ya. Kursus pun ada placement test biasanya. Nggak mungkin gado-gado tuh masuk dalam satu kelas. So you should adapt the task with your students' ability. If you want them to misalnya create a complaint video about the poor public service. Kalau ini diberikan pada mahasiswa mungkin masih oke. Create a formal complaint video about the poor public service in our country. Tapi kalau ini masih anak SMP, masih anak SMA, nanti dia pasti bingung. Kalau mau seperti itu, sama-sama making a complaint tujuannya, tapi mungkin untuk yang masih beginner, make a simple complaint when you are eating at a restaurant. Nah, itu lebih mudah. Jadi ini sama-sama komplain, tapi yang ini buat SMP, SMA. Kalau yang tadi komplainnya untuk level mahasiswa misalnya, gitu. Jadi sama-sama komplain, you still want to teach your students how to make a complaint. However, you adapt the task. Jadi jangan sampai dia overwhelmed. Nanti jadi takut. Belajar bahasa tuh nggak boleh takut. And then multiple choice questions. Multiple choice questions, I think it is possible, but however, I think it is not ideal for this kind of method because multiple choice questions doesn't meet the requirement of TBLT. TBLT is made for students to complete the task. TBLT itu diciptakan agar murid itu complete the task, menyelesaikan tugas. Kalau multiple choice nggak ada menyelesaikan tugas di situ. Itu hanya jawab pertanyaan ABCD aja. So kurang pas. Paling kalau pertanyaan paling hanya untuk make sure dia paham. Misalnya, what is the correct structure of procedure text? Kalau kita mau bikin procedure text mana duluan? Goal, material, steps. Atau steps-nya material, goal, dibolak-balik aja itu. Tapi itu hanya untuk memastikan your student get the knowledge. Paham kalau bikin prosedur tuh harusnya seperti apa. But they don't practice to complete the task. Padahal tujuan TBLT adalah sebenarnya bukan mereka paham di atas kertas ilmu pengetahuannya aja, tapi they can complete a task. So later on, in the real world, they can do similar job well. Gitu. Jadi nanti di luar kelas juga bisa melakukan hal yang sama baiknya gitu. Jadi final remarks-nya adalah TBLT itu values communication, values task completion, values interaction, collaboration karena ini mengerjakan task, and also reflection for us as the teacher. Grammar, vocabulary, structures still important, but they should support the students' ability to use English in purposeful context. Jadi tools, bukan jadi alat utama. Mungkin itu ya dari saya. Bapak Ibu terkait dengan setelah ini, jadi setelah ini kan ada UTS. Ya itu tadi UTS, yaitu saya menilai dari kumpulan performance your daily activities, daily meetings seperti ini. Jadi melalui Bapak Ibu yang bertanya, Bapak Ibu yang berpartisipasi menjawab, ketika when you are doing your job as presenters, ketika menjadi presenter, itu semua akumulatif karena saya selalu mencatat siapa yang bertanya, siapa yang merespon, dan siapa yang macam-macam gitu. Saya memang nggak pakai kehadiran. Kalau kehadiran saya hitung hadir semua, mau ada nggak ada orangnya saya hitung hadir aja. Tapi kalau untuk nilai saya mencatat from every kayak portfolio ya. Jadi setiap kali meeting saya catat gitu. Itu adalah untuk nilai UTS. Lalu kemudian karena ini ada UPM-nya itu tadi saya nilai dari ketika Bapak Ibu turun nanti praktik untuk Abdimas. Jadi kalau nggak salah yang pertama itu tanggal 20 ya, next Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, kalau ingatan saya nggak salah.
Iya, benar.
Jadi itu nanti saya akan biar saya yang turun untuk itu, Dokter Hana nanti yang satunya lagi yang ada 2 tanggal barengan itu. Nah itu kami mesti pecah tuh. Nah itu nanti satunya Dokter Hana. Jadi nanti Zoom-nya yang saya tidak hadir atau tidak hadir direkam karena itu nanti buat laporan ya. Jadi nanti jangan lupa merekam Zoom-nya mulai dari awal direkam sampai akhir gitu. Itu aja mungkin. Apa ada yang mau ditanyakan dulu terkait untuk Abdimas? Ya.
Untuk UTS itu ketika jadwalnya itu yang dilakukan
Mohon maaf Pak, suaranya kurang jelas.
ketika UTS terkait dengan jadwalnya yang kita lakukan apa? Mengupload proposal atau apa yang dilakukan di LMS atau tidak melakukan apa-apa? Terima
Oke.
kasih.
Terima kasih. It's a good question. Saya belum dapat ininya. Kalau if I'm not mistaken, saya lupa nih. Soalnya beda-beda Pak. Jadi term lalu UTS itu hanya mengupload di LMS. Tapi dulu ada juga yang diminta datang ke kampus. Saya sih mengharap nggak usah datang ke kampus ya kalau ini. Tapi kalau hanya UTS saja, silakan saja diunggah proposalnya masing-masing ke dalam LMS. Jadi walaupun sama ya nggak apa-apa. Kan setiap setiap orang udah punya kelompoknya kan, unggah aja proposal itu. Kalau memang ini nanti I will let you know kampus prodi term ini maunya gimana gitu. Tapi kalau diminta tidak perlu datang, alhamdulillah dan unggah aja itu gitu. Bisa juga nanti nggak usah diunggah kalau mata kuliah khusus ini. Saya nggak tahu kalau kan suka aneh-aneh, suka beda-beda tergantung musim dan moodnya. Jadi kalaupun iya nanti ya udah upload aja proposalnya gitu.
Ya, terima kasih penjelasannya, Dr. Feni.
Sama-sama. Ada lagi? Clear ya? Kalau sudah clear, berarti ini adalah Zoom kita yang terakhir. Karena
Yes.
ada yang mau tanya dulu silakan. Oke, Zoom kita yang terakhir, karena setelah ini mata kuliah ini dikonversi dengan Bapak Ibu melakukan Abdimas, karena turun ke lapangan maka proporsinya besar. Baik, sampai bertemu nanti di akhir perkuliahan karena kita ini Zoom kita terakhir. Thank you very much Bapak Ibu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk semuanya. Sehat-sehat ya.
Thank
Terima kasih,
you
Dr.
so much,
Penny.
Dr.
Thank you,
Penny.
ma'am.
You're
Thank you, Bu Dokter.
welcome.